to the Albemarle Bayport, Texas site. The safety and security of our visitors, employees, and neighbors is of the utmost importance to us. In order to ensure this safety, there are certain procedures you must follow while visiting our facility. Upon arrival, you must sign in with security at the guardhouse. Visitors are required to present a valid photo ID, preferably from your employer, and be prepared for scrutiny as well as verification. All carry-in items are subject to search. You'll be required to watch this video and be issued a Bayport Safety Rules and Emergency Plan Summary Card that's valid for 1 year. Sign the card and keep it for your next visit. While you're waiting for your host, read and familiarize yourself with the information contained in the card. You must have a verifiable reason to be here and to enter the plant. You'll only be allowed to enter accompanied by a site contact employee. You'll remain with this person and follow their instruction until the time you sign out. Minors under the age of 18 and pets are not allowed in the facility. You are authorized to enter only a designated area, and your activities will be limited to that area. Proper entrance and exit of the plant is identified by changeable badges of different colors at different times. If you arrive under the influence of drugs or alcohol, you will not be allowed on company premises. Explosives, drugs, weapons, cameras, and/or alcohol are not allowed in the plant. All vehicles entering the facility will be subject to search, and those visitors driving into the plant must present a current driver's license and insurance card, which will be closely examined and verified. Additionally, all vehicles must have current license plates and state inspection. Seat belts must be worn by all occupants of passenger vehicles, pickups, and trucks. All vehicles entering the plant must be in good working order. Albemarle does not accept any responsibility for damage or theft to or from vehicles on our site. Occupants of pickups are not allowed to ride in the bed of a truck. The maximum speed limit inside the plant is 10 miles per hour unless otherwise designated. Texas traffic laws prevail within the plant. You may park in designated areas only. Do not block roads or driveways where passage of other normal or emergency vehicles would be impeded. Always leave the keys in the ignition of any motor vehicle on site. During your visit, there are important buildings and areas that you should be familiar with. You are currently in the guardhouse. The research building is to the left. To the south are the HPC units, Hydro Processing Catalyst, and FCC, Fluid Catalytic Cracking Production Area. VESPA is just east of the FCC production unit and makes feedstock for the FCC. To the east is the maintenance building. AkzoNobel Polymer Chemicals owns and operates production facilities in the southeast quadrant of our site. Today, over 200 chemicals are handled here. Some of them are potentially dangerous. Do not go in restricted areas without permission. Because of the presence of these chemicals, eating, drinking, and smoking are prohibited in manufacturing shop and work areas. Designated areas for these activities will be provided. Remember, smoking is permitted in designated areas only. Your host will point out these areas. For your own protection, the site has established certain standards of dress that must be followed during your visit to the manufacturing areas of the plant. The appropriate standard is a hard hat, safety glasses with side shields, long pants, and shirts with sleeves. Shoes must be conventional leather or the equivalent, in good repair, with closed toes and a heel no higher than 1 inch. Steel-toed shoes are recommended. Hearing protection must be worn in areas so posted or where recommended by your contact. In certain areas of the plant, other safety equipment is also required. Your contact person will make sure you have the proper personal protective equipment for the area you're in. Bare feet, flip-flops, sandals, or high heels are not allowed. Also, dangling jewelry or loose clothing is not allowed. Railroad traffic is an integral part of our operations. As you approach any railroad tracks, be alert for movement of rail cars before you cross. Do not cross the tracks if the gap between a rail car and any other substantial object is less than 20 feet wide. Do not park vehicles or other portable equipment within 10 feet of either side of the tracks. No one except railroad employees is permitted to jump or ride on moving rail cars. As you walk or drive into the plant, be sure to notice the emergency assembly areas, safety showers, and eye wash stations. Also, periodically check the windsock for wind direction. If there is an emergency, a plant siren will sound. Depending on the wind direction and the origin of the emergency, you will shelter in place as directed by your host. If an evacuation is called for, your host will lead you to the proper assembly point. In an emergency, always follow the instructions of your host. In all probability, you will never encounter an emergency situation while at our plant, but our policy is to always be prepared. The siren is tested at 10 a.m. each Tuesday. Other alarms you may hear in the plant are connected with operations and do not represent an unsafe condition. We at Albemarle strive for the safest and healthiest working environment possible. We know we can count on you to help us reach that goal.